Come on,
Ladies,
Spencer, let's get white girl wasted.
You're killing me.
if anyone out there is feeling lonely, grab a book and come to Capybara in case you'll find you in a couple weeks.
I'll cuddle you. I'll just sit in your lap.
Welcome to the Beacon House Podcast, recorded live in Knoxville, Tennessee.
I just really think the capybara is the most purest animal in the world.
I've heard that somewhere.
Oh, man. Shout out, Shipley.
That picture, I didn't see that picture when you were telling that story. Now that I see that picture, I
You see
absolutely
the picture
agree.
of the capybara over there?
I couldn't see it through the glare
It's-
before.
It's so amazing.
She's
Guys,
so right.
What Casey's referring to, we're talking to you guys today from Capybara Coffee at University Commons, and we've been in here a couple times. He's telling a story about one of our past guests, Jordan Shipley, who might be around here somewhere. She had some comments about the capybara as an animal.
It's the most purest animal
That's
in
what
the
she's
world.
the most purest animal, the purest animal. I don't know how you would gauge that, but she, for some reason, knew that.
I think all you have to do is look at that picture and know that she's right.
I love it. But apparently there's a story behind it, and we're going to learn about it.
Oh, really?
We're going to learn the significance of it. We're going to learn why, all this kind of stuff. So how are you guys doing today?
Are you going to tell me why I'm so jittery? I think it might be the 3 cups of coffee I've had. I'm not
We've
sure.
had so much coffee, and it's awesome.
I'm ready to take off like a rocket ship, go straight to Mars.
I feel incredible right now. But yeah, guys, we're here at Capybara Coffee. You guys don't know where it is. Like, we've been talking about it for a while now, and it's easily, if you're anywhere near like the campus area, it's easily the best coffee on campus, like, and maybe in the world even. We're here today, and they're lucky enough they let us in, and they're going to talk to us a little bit. And so we have a very special guest. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, well, my name is Lateesha. I'm the owner here of Capybara Coffee. And capybaras are actually a very friendly animal. So it's in line of your guys are saying. It's the mascot from the city we come from. So we're originally from Brazil.
Okay.
Me and my husband. So we decided to open a coffee shop. We always loved coffee. We studied coffee. We went to several coffee shops, and we did a road trip for our honeymoon here in the U.S.
Yeah.
So we drove from L.A. to New York, crossing the entire country.
Oh, wow.
And then down to D.C. and a little bit of the South as well. And we went to a lot of coffee shops. We drank a lot of coffee because we love it. And, we were looking for a good coffee.
That sounds
And-
amazing.
Yeah, and the thing is that we from Brazil, we like espresso shots, and it's really hard to find a good espresso shot. So we said, we need to give that to you guys, and bring, whatever
Right.
the way the Italians and the Brazilians, that we created, that Italians created a long time ago. So that's why we decided to open a coffee shop, to bring our love and show you guys that espresso shots can be good and not just a punch in the face, So.
Right.
Zing.
Yeah. And if you've ever ordered an espresso shot, or if you heard one of your friends give you an espresso shot from like Starbucks or something like that, and again, no judgment. I mean, it's important for people to drink coffee in general, I believe. So go where you have to go. So I've been on road trips where there was literally nothing but a Starbucks. I mean, I get it, but if you've had those, and then you get a really good espresso shot, it's night and day, man. It's not even the same thing. And these people really know what they're doing. I mean, like, could you kind of describe a little bit, kind of like you did earlier? You guys, you're talking about how if they don't draw it right. And Casey, you know a lot about this too.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you pull an espresso shot, you have like maybe 30 seconds before it's dead. So you better drink it quick or mix it. And yeah, they showed us like how the creme on top holds all the flavor in.
Yep.
But I think she can do a way better job
Yeah,
explaining it
give
than
us
I can.
just a
I've been away from the
kind of a
espresso
thing
machine for a couple of years.
Yeah.
About the art of the espresso shot.
Well, the espresso shot is very concentrated. So it's 18 grams of coffee for 2 ounces of liquid at the end. So it's going to be all the flavor there in a tiny cup. So you need to drink it fast because the temperature, the water temperature when it's brewing, the pressure, the amount of the grinds, the size of it, everything mixed together is what makes a perfect coffee.
And how much of that is already predetermined by like the measurement and the machine, and how much of that is the responsibility of the barista?
Well, it depends. On several coffee shops, it's more the baristas. We do a lot of technical stuff here. So we like to do it perfect. We like to do it always the same. So the grams and the grinds comes from the machine. But then the way you temp it, the way you work, that's the barista. To get the feeling if the water is coming right, if the looks of it, the taste of it, this is the barista knowledge. So this is very important. You need to have a warm glass to pour it into so it doesn't cool once it comes down. You need to see if it's fast and it's taking, the exact amount of time that it's supposed to be. Because if it's too long, it's going to be too watered down. If it's too short, it's going to be too bitter. So it's all technical knowledge for you to make sure that you're getting the perfect cup. So
amazing.
It looks hard work, and it is hard work. So, yeah.
That's incredible. I mean, I didn't realize that much went into it, but you can definitely tell, and the proof is in the pudding, because you guys gave me one earlier that was done correctly, and it was absolutely fantastic.
They have pudding here?
I hate you.
Okay. I mean, look at me. Of course I love pudding.
Stop it.
Well, we have good pastries.
Yeah.
So not pudding, but, scones and muffins.
What was the thing I had earlier? The jalapeno pimento cheese
The
thing?
collagen.
Oh.
It's
Wait, what's it called again?
collagen.
Whoa.
Or you can also call a bagel bomb. We prefer that.
Bagel palm. I love that.
It's
I love
funnier.
that. Yeah.
It's
You can
kind
throw
of
it at your
bagel
enemies.
dough, yeah, and fill with, pimento cheese, or there's another one with
That
bacon.
sounds amazing.
It was incredible.
cream
Libby
cheese.
had one. We were both we exchanged a look. I was like, ooh, man.
Yeah. No, our...
You guys meet on a spiritual level?
Like, it was deep.
Yeah. No, our pastry provider is very good. They're
Oh,
a
and could you talk
supplier.
about who's the pastry
They're
provider?
from VGs, so they're a local bakery owned, family owned. They're, I think it was 1999 that they started operations, and they're up at the farmers markets all around the Knox County, so you can get them. You always find them with the white boxes and huge lines, and we have them here as well. So it's very good. Goes very well with our coffee. It
Amazing.
pairs perfectly.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And so talk to us a little bit about, like, you guys said you were from Brazil. Are you both originally from Brazil?
Yeah.
Okay, is that where you guys met? Or did
Yeah.
you, okay, and then you just moved here.
We met there. We were friends for 10 years. Then we started dating, got married, and moved here. So
Okay, so
yeah.
you moved here as a couple, and then
Yeah.
you decided to just go all over the United States, check out all kinds of coffee.
Yeah, exactly that. We always wanted a coffee shop. We always loved coffee, and people here value coffee more than in Brazil. You guys like, the drinks and, the drips and the lattes and all that. Has a stronger culture, and business-wise, it's a good thing. It's better than opening a business in Brazil. So
I get it.
yeah. So we decided to come here, and we decided for Knoxville. We could have opened, anywhere in the States. And a lot of people come and ask us, why did you choose Knoxville? And we said that well, of course, we didn't want way up north. We don't like the snow that much. And we didn't want way south because it's too hot. And coffee, it's something you need, a milder weather, to be better. So we looked at cities that were good for both our personal life and for the growth of the business. And Knoxville has a cultural environment really getting better every year. When you read it, the history and all that, it's a growing city, and people are valuing good things, culture, food,
Definitely.
coffee.
Definitely.
And so there's a growth opportunity here. So that's why we decided. And we love the city. We love, personally to live here. And people are so friendly. It's a lot of fun.
That was
agree.
the question I had, was why you settled here. That's such a great answer. Wow.
And if you look over a spectrum of time, I remember when there wasn't even a Starbucks in Knoxville anywhere, and like the Joe Muggs was one of the only coffee shops where you could get a latte.
It was that or Pilot.
Yeah, and there was nothing like that. And now you've got like really, really cool places like this. So you're absolutely right.
Yeah, when we decided for Knoxville, it was about almost 4 years ago, actually. It took a little while for us to get everything ready to, open up. And there was only like the biggest one was the one at the farmers market and at the market square.
Yeah.
and now it's growing a lot, and there are good places, for you to hang out and good coffee. And I think that's the important thing. That's why I always tell my customers, I don't mind you going to the other, because it's specialty coffee, it's good coffee. We don't want you back to Starbucks. That's the only thing.
Right.
Don't go back there. Coffee can't taste good.
We interviewed recently. We were talking to the guys from Geezer's Brewery, who were super nice and super supportive of us. Shout out to those guys. But we were talking to them. They're opening a tap room over on Magnolia, and you can, if you follow them on social media, you can keep up with their progress and everything. But there's so many breweries opening around here now. And I remember we asked them, we said, do you feel like you're going to get lost in the wave of all these things? And the guy said something that I thought was so prolific and super positive. And he said, no, we're not worried about it at all. We believe that high tides raise all ships. Yep. And I was really thinking, like, man, that's a great way to look at it, instead of just like everything's this ruthless competition or whatever. You've got a thing where it's okay if like they go to K-Brew in the morning and then they come to Capybara in the afternoon, or what. As long as people are into that culture, it kind of helps everybody,
Yeah, that's the way we feel. We want people to have good quality drinks, and we know that we're not in the way for everyone every day. So if one day you're in West Town, go to the K-Brew. If you're ever in the South Side, go to the Honeybee. They're all good as well. People are trying to do good coffee in, a good city. So
sure.
But come here as well.
The owner of K-Brew, Pierce, is a good friend of ours, and he's actually we're going to do a thing on them too. And I know for a fact he feels exactly the same way, that it's a good for everyone, like to have the thing. And it's just great that Knoxville has a coffee culture, and they didn't used to, and
It also seems like you guys are getting in on the ground floor, because Knoxville, I think, only is going up from here in popularity, with Asheville being as popular and Nashville being super popular. We're just stuck right in the middle of this big boom of restaurants, coffee shops, and things like that. So,
and with you living here, that makes Knoxville super popular?
Nope.
Okay.
That has to be
try to throw you one.
That has to be the biggest turnoff ever.
No, it's like driving traffic to a sideshow is what it is.
I try to hide in my burrow and act like I don't participate in anything.
That was terrible. Sideshow.
I love you, Casey. I'm sorry.
It's clear he loves you. Yeah.
Yeah. Come, everybody, pay $5. See my antique dog.
Well, I'll tell you what. Before we speak to your husband, how about could you tell us some of the places around the country that when you were traveling and you visited, some of the, if you have any like takeaways or big memories of like a really cool coffee place somewhere in New York, or whatever.
That's a very hard question, because there's several coffee shops that are really good for the ambiance. There are several coffee shops that are really good for the coffee, and so it's a mix of everything. What I have more is like the feeling of getting to know the culture of coffee, in US, because it's different from everywhere else. The drip coffee, the good sit down place and work, or meet friends and talk. So I do recall one that was very good, close by in Nashville, the Revelator, I think, if I'm not mistaken. We liked the coffee there, and there were some small towns that we stopped by, and it was really not expected. And we found this tiny coffee shops, the owner there, barista, working all day, and but good vibe to it. I think that's the thing that the coffee shops that I like the best is the vibe that they have. Like when the owners are involved, like we try to do here. And you're talking to people, and bringing more than just coffee.
You guys, I think, do a spectacular job of that, of being super friendly and super welcoming, and it's this is as high end as any coffee place I've ever been anywhere. Their coffee is as good as any place on earth, easy, better than most. But I've never ever felt like an idiot being in here thinking like, how exactly does that? They're so friendly, and Pierce from K-Brew is a lot like that too. Like he didn't have a problem with me asking a lot of questions, but there are some of those shops like in Nashville. There's a coffee place in Nashville I like a lot called Barista Parlor, but man, it's so exclusionary. It's like walking into a Whole Foods or something. No offense if anybody likes Whole Foods, but like I go into those places and I feel like the third class on the Titanic or something.
You feel like the violinist?
Yeah, I'm going down with the ship, but But you guys never ever felt weird or out of place. Like it's such a warm atmosphere. Everybody here's super friendly. And I mean, and not just you guys, but your whole staff. Like all these people are so cool. And like,
it felt like walking into my house and just being like, "Can I get a cortado?" And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." And then they'll sit there and talk coffee shop with you all the whole time. It's
and
wonderful.
if you don't know what a cortado is, we are happy to explain because we know that we don't know about many things. There are some people that come here that are like airspace engineers. I don't know anything about that, so and I know that people don't know everything about coffee, and we study it, we like it, we love to share the knowledge. So we feel like if you come and they look at the menu and sometimes I see on their face like, what is a cortado? What's the difference between a cortado and a cappuccino, and all that. So we're happy to explain, so a cortado is 2 shots espresso. Cappuccino is only 1. The foam is different. Cappuccino has more foam. And, so we do explain all these things. So, people need to understand why they like coffee, because it makes them, so that's why it's good. That light that lights on their heads. We love to see that happening.
And the great news is there's a lot of things to try. So if you're listening to this, go try all of them. That gives you many excuses to go back over and over again. Yep. You get the whole spectrum of things. What would you say is your number one selling drink here?
Our number one is the latte. That's
what I get most of the time.
Yeah, and you can add flavors to it, and you can drink it plain, and you can play with it. So it's something, and you can do it iced or hot. So depending on the season, that's the best seller.
The go-to.
So, yeah, it's the basic one.
Do you guys have any questions over there?
I have a story because when I worked at Einstein's Bagels, I had just started doing like a bunch of research on coffee and things like that. And one of the drinks they had on their menu was a caramel macchiato. And when they taught us how to make it, I was like, no, I already got it. They're like, no, we do it a little different here. Like, we do espresso, milk, we stir it up, and then add the caramel to the top. And I was like, well, that's just a caramel latte, or a vanilla latte with caramel on top. And they're like, this isn't Casey's Coffee Shop. This is Einstein's Bagels. And I was like, that's fine, but it's also wrong. I just wanted to point that out. And so I didn't last.
So you ever noticed you're actually not Einstein?
Yeah.
So I didn't last long there. But I wanted to know: has there been any time where someone's come in and just acted like they've known more, and you guys are just like, here's your drink, whatever.
Casey loves stories about bad customers.
Yeah, I don't know if I should say, but I will. You
don't have to mention any names. You don't have to say who it was.
It's a good thing I'm terrible at names, so it won't happen. But the thing is, the macchiato thing. So what we do here is the Italian version. So espresso macchiato is 2 shots espresso and a little bit of foam. And that's, if you read the books anywhere and like Google it everywhere, you say espresso macchiato, that's what you're going to get. So we have a lot of people that come here and look at the menu, and that's the name that they recognize from somewhere. You can tell it's the first time they're coming to a coffee shop, not a chain. So they come in and say, oh, I want a macchiato. And I say, okay, so our version is the Italian version. And I explain, nicely, because just making sure if you really want the 2 shots or, a drink. They say, no, that's what I want. That's exactly what I want. I say, okay. So we go there and we make the espresso macchiato, the Italian version. We gave it to them like a tiny, tiny cup with, just the 2 shots espresso and, a little bit of foam, and they just look at it so frustrated. They said, no, I wanted, a lot of milk, a lot of drink, and it's not what I'm getting.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I try to explain it to you, So those things do happen here.
You're used to that thing at Starbucks with like a pound of syrup in it, and all this
Yeah.
And it still doesn't hide how bad
basically
it tastes.
just a milkshake,
Here in Knoxville, I'm sure it's a lot like this in the South, but have you had anybody call it a macchiato yet?
No.
That's a really popular one. Hey, can I get one of them macchiatos? It's
Macchiato.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I tell you know what, I haven't mispronounced it like that. I'm definitely guilty of something else. Like when we're placing a big order at work or something, and everybody's writing it down. If I'm the one that's got the pen and I have to write everything down, and somebody goes, "Give me a macchiato," I'm just like, yeah, okay.
You're like MAKO.
I just put a lot of every letter. I'll put like MAACCCATTTTTTO. I'm like, they're all going to be in there somewhere. It's terrible.
It's like spelling banana.
Or like it's spelling like friend. If you haven't thought about it in a minute, you're like friend. Oh God, here we go again. Friend. Weird.
That I-N-E
is it I-E? I don't know. Macchiato's like that for me. Has it got an H? Did it used to have an H? I don't know.
It's got an H.
Yeah, I can say it pretty well, but if I have to write it,
double check. I had to look at the menu.
See, you're looking at it right now. You don't even know. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate
Well,
that. Can we talk to your husband? Is he
Yeah,
here?
of course. And he will bring a lot of coffee knowledge for you guys.
Oh, I
as
can't
well.
wait. I can't wait for that.
Oh, he's coming over
Yeah.
here like cracking.
Thank
his
you
knuckles.
for having me here.
He's ready to go.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
thank
Gary.
you
Thank
so
you
much.
guys.
All right, here we go. How's it going, man?
Sup, Spencer?
Hey, go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience.
Well, my name is Thiago. I'm the pseudo owner of Capybara Shop because actually she wants to call the shots. So. No, but I mean, it's great to have you guys here. We love to be here. We love coffee. We're here to share like on our knowledge. I could be talking like coffee for hours, like every day or every Sunday, and there was like always be something new to be like told.
And we love it. Why don't you start with just how you got into coffee? Like, if you had to kind of trace this back, where did it all start for you?
Man, I can't remember like for like the one experience because we are used to get like around coffee in Brazil like since the beginning, like since we're like really young. There's no problem with like the caffeine or anything like that. So we drink coffee since like we're like a child. So I can't remember or like the one experience, but everything on our life, everything always like was like around coffee. Like we used to hang in coffee shops. We used to like be around coffee all the time, and I love coffee. So even being like an engineer, I never gave up on the dream of like, oh, I want to have like a coffee shop. I want to share like our knowledge, and I want to bring like Brazilian coffee to people. Because the thing is, Brazil is like the largest coffee producer in the world. Like, I would say that Vietnam in the past like 2 years they have like a huge crop, but it's like Robusta beans, not even near Brazil. And people are used to have like the cheap Brazilian beans,
right?
Like all over here. Like if you go to like a Starbucks, probably half of the beans over there are like from Brazilian plantations. If you go like to any place, basically there will be like Brazilian beans in the mix, and they're like, I won't say like terrible coffee, but they're like cheap coffee.
Right.
And there's small farms in Brazil, and the specialty coffee from Brazil, it's like hard or almost impossible to find around here.
And
it's amazing.
Are the two kinds of coffee, Robusto and Arabica? Is I saying that right?
Yeah, there's
or there are others.
There's actually a lot of types of coffee. These are the two basic, like let's say, strains of coffee. The Robusta one, it's like the simple one, the one that you guys were used to have like back in the 60s or on the 70s. Before
like Folgers and Maxwell House.
The Starbucks actually introduced like the Arabica coffee.
Yeah.
It was like a more flavorful, more fruity coffee, like easier to drink. It is like better coffee for you to drink like as drip coffee for like your everyday coffee.
But doesn't necessarily mean that it's high-end coffee.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. You can get like cheap Arabica beans, and you can get great Robusta beans.
Okay.
It's like hard to get them because the thing is the Robusta tree, it's like sturdier and stronger, so it's like easy for it to survive like anywhere and give you like a bean.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that's gonna be like quality coffee, but it's gonna be like
it's gonna make it through the winter.
Like bean. Yeah, that's the thing, and it's gonna be like Folgers coffee.
Yeah,
and it's fine. Starbucks was actually the first one to bring to US like back in the 70s, Arabica beans. It was better coffee for you to drink as drip coffee. And Brazil has like huge plantations of like Arabica beans. We can supply like a chain, and the farms can make money selling for like $1 a pound. They can make money because it is a plantation. But Brazil has like thousands of small farms. And we have like thousands of like strains of coffee, like different ones. They are like Arabica beans, but they're like different varieties, like the yellow Bourbons and the red Catuis. And those are like all amazing coffees. And it's hard for you to find like them around here because you guys are used to get like the bulk Brazilian cheap beans.
Sure.
Our thing is just like that. To bring like the coffee from like the small farms, specialty coffee from Brazil. We have like 2 roasters that we're like working with. The Panther Coffee from Florida. One of the owners is like is a Brazilian, so we trust on them to bring like the best of the Brazilian beans. The other one is from Texas, the Casa Brasil.
Yeah.
They only have Brazilian beans, all from like small farms, micro lots. And these are like unique and amazing beans that people are not used to, because most of the market around here involves like the Colombian coffee or like the Panamanian coffee or Costa Rica. And we have like amazing beans in Brazil. So that's our thing.
And it also seems like the way you're saying it is a lot of these chain, like Starbucks is a chain, and a lot of other people, when they get the Brazilian coffee, sounds like they probably aim for the cheapest one, which might not be the best one because it's not coming from the small farm. But because you guys came from there, you know exactly what small farms to get it from, which is probably why Capybara Coffee is going to be the place to go if you want the best specialty coffee.
It's like your coffee agent. They will tell you. They will go ahead and do the legwork.
Coffee wizard.
They will get the coffee, the good coffee.
That's the thing, that it's not like bad coffee. It's just like cheaper coffee. So there's no way for them to keep like the same quality control on something that we're selling for like $1 a pound, when there's like another like small farms like selling you coffee for like $10 a pound. So they can keep like a strictly quality control and make sure that we're getting like only the best beans. So it's not that the coffee at Starbucks or something like that's like worst. It's just like cheaper coffee, and there's no other way. It's like tons and tons of coffee every day. You have to like get coffee from like hundreds of farms, even in the same country, like dozens of countries, and you need to roast them to look the same and taste the same. You over roast the coffee. It's like the only way for you to do that many coffee. There's like no other way. They can't do anything about it. It is like the way to go. We can focus like on the best beans, because that's the thing. There's no need for me to have like a ton of coffee over here. Sometimes I have like a micro lot and I buy like 10 or 20 pounds, and when you call like our roaster again, it's all gone. No, that's all we had. Like it was like
that's one of my favorite things.
It's like a few hundred pounds. Maybe we'll get like the coffee next year on the next crop from the same farm. Maybe not. We don't know, because they would be like over there getting direct from the farm. And that's the thing. It was like a once in a lifetime experience. I don't know if next year they will have like the same coffee again, the same profile. They might have it or not. It was something unique, and it's gone. That's the thing with like the whatever, Starbucks or any other chain.
Year round, you're getting the same thing.
Yeah.
And if you have your favorite,
they try to make it like the same thing,
right?
Because they have to.
Because they have to have
like expect. Like it doesn't matter if you're going
McDonald's,
to it doesn't matter if you're going to the Starbucks over here or in Seattle. Yeah. They're trying to make you get the same.
Yeah. They want you to pull off the interstate when you see that sign, and you know exactly the macchiato or whatever that you're going to get.
The only way for you to make like beans from all around the world taste the same, it's to over roast them. I mean, from the business point of view, it's like actually amazing, because they convince people in US that like a dark roast, it's the best thing ever. And there's no problem in a dark roast, but I would say that the dark roast from Starbucks is like...
They do it because all their coffee's burnt.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like burnt coffee. Like, we have like some dark roast blends over here. They're like a properly made dark roast. It's way lighter than whatever you get from like Starbucks or any other chain. They're just over roasting the coffee to make they taste the same. And they convince people that this is amazing.
Yeah.
And people believe it, because some people I need like that burnt taste because I like that.
Because everybody's running around with that red cup.
Like, yeah, whatever. It's like...
They're all fitting it, you know. And I mean, I get that too, but I think that's wonderful that you guys have these micro lots that come in. And I've had a bunch of them, and it's phenomenal. And they do change from time to time. You're not always getting necessarily the same thing. And so the adventure kind of continues. And that's another, just like we're talking about the espresso, like the whole thing, all the different things, the cortado, the things you could get. That's a great reason to come back in over and over again, because you're going to have like a new experience ongoing. You're going to get to try a new type of coffee you've never heard of before. Like, you've had some of the best coffee I've ever had in my life.
We aim and we do like everything to be like consistently. Like our everyday coffee, it's always going to taste the same. It is like a single orange for the one farm. It is a specialty coffee. It's always going to be the same. But I mean, I want you guys to be able to try and play with like all this different stuff. Some of the beans that we get, they're like amazing, but I would never drink like every day a coffee that has like a sweet corn profile. It's almost like odd. I think it's amazing, but it's like for once in a while. I want like my coffee to taste like always the same every morning when I get like here, and I want to taste like coffee. And for me, coffee has like this nutty, sweety, profile. And this is something from the Brazilian beans. They're like not that fruity. You can make them like more fruity depending on the kind of like process that you use. Brazil usually has like a natural dry process. You keep the cherry on the bean. So you're actually adding the sugar and all the flavor from the cherry to the bean during the drying process. So we can add like some fruitiness to the coffee. But I mean, the nuttiness, like chocolatey flavor, it's something that's like a characteristic from Brazilian coffee. And I think this is like amazing for your everyday coffee. It's like a nutty flavor, chocolatey flavor, almost milky by itself. And I love this on like an everyday coffee. But I like to try the crazy ones or like the different ones
I do
every
too.
once in a while, just like you. Yeah, but I mean, that's like for once in a while. I will never keep like drinking the strawberry one that we had like once in here that you guys like used to love.
I
Because
could
when you
drink
add
that
the cream,
all
it's almost
day.
like strawberry and creams. But I mean, I like that, but it's not something that I want to drink like every day because it would be like too much. Like
Sure.
Because it's like coffee, and that's like
I'm bad about limitations.
that was like so strong. Like if it was like such a strong like strawberry taste, that was like almost someone like dropped like a strawberry inside, and it was not. It was just the beans. That was like too much for me.
Well, and our friend, shout out Eric Stam, who walked in while we were recording. Eric Stam brought me that the first time you guys had it, and he said, "This is like they've got a new coffee over there. It's got like a strawberry." And I was like, "Strawberry coffee? What? Those two things don't go together." And boy, I was wrong. It was incredible.
But I mean, that's the thing. There's like a lot of roasters that are like adding flavors during the roasting process. I think it's like disgusting because they're getting like whatever bean, like yeah, you can get like whatever bean and then you throw like hazelnut or whatever during the roasting process, and you're adding like flavor. And I don't like it because I like to taste like the coffee, the terroir, the profile of the bean. That's why it's like amazing to find like once in a while something like that. A coffee that tastes like strawberry. It's just a coffee.
That's
it might
amazing.
be just for the one crop, the one season, the 1 year, because maybe it was like the sun or like the amount of rain or whatever. Something made that bean taste like strawberry. And that's amazing. For you to throw like strawberry syrup and roast the coffee, it's just disgusting, because then you can you can use water and add like strawberry syrup.
And it seems kind of like it's a
coffee
parlor
syrup.
trick.
And then you will have like coffee that tastes like strawberry. I don't like it. That's why I like the unique micro lots. They're like different.
I agree.
And that's why anytime that you guys get a new coffee, we should all come down here and try it.
100%.
It might be the only time we ever get a chance to do it.
And it's and a lot of people don't talk about that too. Like if you live in America and you go to the big grocery store in your neighborhood or whatever, and you walk down that aisle and there's just a million bags of coffee, and you just kind of feel like coffee is sort of like this milled and manufactured thing, I think, and you just assume that there's a bunch of beans and somebody's going to grind them up, maybe you or maybe the store or whatever. But you don't really think about how the coffee cherry has to dry, like you were talking about, and the flavor and the infusion and all that stuff. And aren't some of them washed and some of them are like not washed? And there's this whole thing.
There's like basically 3 different ways for you to process the coffee. I mean, there's like more ways, but I mean, let's stick to the main ones.
The big ones.
You can dry the coffee, like the natural process. You can dry the coffee, keeping the cherry over there. So you're adding like, it's actually a kind of like fermentation process, but it's like using the cherry to add like the flavors to the bean. Once it's dry, you can remove like the cherry and have just the bean. The bean will have like some taste from the cherry, like the sugar and the fruitiness from the cherry. The other one is like the completely wash process. Some people say that this is better nowadays because it's like a more pure way for you to taste the bean, because you're actually like using enzymes, sometimes chemicals, and that might be a problem, and water to melt the cherry away and keep just the bean. So all the flavor will come from the bean. The other one is like a mix, because there was like a lot of people in the industry kind of like against the use of like enzymes, chemical fermentation.
Yeah.
And they have like a process that kind of like melts part of the cherry and keeps like the bean and some of like the enclosement, like the parchment around the beans. So it has like the best of both worlds, they say, because you have like something to infuse the sugar and flavor on the bean, but we're like removing most of the cherry. I think they all work. My only problem with like the washed one, it's like you're wasting a lot of water. Sometimes you're adding some kind of like chemical, and I don't think it make like better coffee. Just make different coffee. The thing is that like the industry is trying to convince people that this coffee is like always better, because it's easier for you to consistently get the same flavor profile if you remove like the cherry away. Because then there's like no influence of like how much sugar you had like on the cherry, how long it took for you to like dry the cherries. Nothing matters, because you can just like remove the coffee from the tree, wash everything away, and you have like the green bean ready to roast. So
fascinating.
Yeah, that's the thing. You are removing like a lot of like, you are trying to better control the process to get like always the same bean, the same taste, the same profile. It's kind of cool for like the industry, for you to sell like tons and tons and tons of beans, but I think it takes like all the fun of something that's natural. It is like a cherry, it is a bean, and I think it's cool for you to have it like all this different kind of like coffee.
Okay, well look, since we're talking about that, I'm dying to ask this. Do you guys know what I'm going to ask? Since we're talking about the coffee being a cherry and all that, what is it? I've never had this. What is the deal with Kopi Luwak? Tell me about where the thing eats the cherry.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a kind of.
You guys know what we're talking about?
Someone's watched the bucket list.
Get out of my face! I knew about it. You know what? I've had it with you.
I had.
Do you guys know what we're talking about? Do you know what the Kopi Luwak is? Somebody come up. Eric Stam, what is it? Tell us what it is. Some people go.
It's a kind of cat. It is.
Is it actually technically a cat? The civet or whatever the thing?
Yeah, it is a kind of cat.
Is it okay?
I don't know if it's like Tasmania or something.
And they say
like
it eats the coffee cherry. It can't digest it.
No, that's the thing.
Have you had it? Have you had Kopi Luwak?
Yeah, it tastes like coffee. And it was not the best coffee I ever had.
There you have it.
But it was not crappy. I mean,
hey.
the Starbucks one is like way worse.
Love it.
Now, real quick, Hunter,
the verdict, not crappy.
You have any questions, any input from our other barista?
I still want to make jokes about it. It's not crappy, but it's not cappy.
Oh God! Spencer.
So, Hunter, do you have anything that you want to?
I feel like you don't like me. We've had a lot of coffee.
I'm just like.
No, I'm just
so excited.
More in awe of the amount of information that the whole time both of you guys have been talking. I've been struck over and over again with why having even the smallest sense of adventure is important, and even if you do come try a place like this, and while I can't imagine it, don't like it for whatever reason, it's still worth going out, because you're not going to get this kind of culture or atmosphere or any of this kind of passion or knowledge from anything corporate. And I think there's a thing now where smaller independent shops and all forms of business are starting to grow and boom, and I think it's because people are getting sick of the same old like cookie cutter McDonald's crap. But you can't just get tired of it and then not do anything. Like, you need to go out into your city. You need to go find the places like Capybara or K-Brew or whatever other industry it might be too, and go seek those people out, try what they have, and then ask them about it, because you're going to be only rewarded for doing so. So I'm just more appreciating listening to you guys talk about it.
And I can't think of a better environment to just bump into like-minded people under not an intense situation than a cool coffee shop.
Yeah.
That's easily probably my favorite environment of anything in the world.
Ladies.
I mean, it's not, you know what I'm saying? You can meet people if you go out to bars and stuff, and I do, but it's different. It's loud and it's crazy and whatever, and you don't really, there's an ambiance to this that's not suffocating, and it's cool, you know?
And at bars you get white girl wasted ladies. At coffee shop you get, book readers.
You were
studiers, homework doers. You don't get
like
the woo girls.
You're totally profiled.
I'm totally stereotyping.
You stereotyped me as a white girl.
You are. That's fine.
Yeah.
You drink gin and tonics.
The
You
audience
get white
turns on
girl
Spencer.
wasted.
And everyone agrees.
Like 9 people just went, yep, he is.
Now, Casey shared his story about coming in here and feeling like he was at home. I would like to speak to the good heart and how kind these people actually are to their guests, because in the most graceful way possible, I made an absolute idiot out of myself when I walked in here, and your wife...
I doubt that it was graceful. But.
No. Your wife, in the most graceful way possible, I should have worded that differently, helped me. Casey and I got to the counter, and I started to look at the menu, and I couldn't see all of it. So I ducked under the lights and started looking. And she goes, if you come around the counter, the lights won't be in your way. You can see everything. You're looking at...
Yeah, but I mean, that's like a common mistake. Most people that walk from the back door does the same.
I'm glad it's not just me.
They
but
stop right there. We should have like a sign over there.
He was doing this. He was like, I can't really. And she was like, if you just 2 more steps.
I was going to say we should have like a sign over there. Like,
maybe, yeah.
Please walk 2 more steps.
Just so kind
fine.
about it. I see that stuff in my place of work, and all I do is roll my eyes and then bash them either to my coworkers or in my head because I'm cynical butthole. But then I come here and you guys are like, it's okay, just come around the counter.
Yeah,
you
but I mean,
can see everything.
I think that's like the thing with like any small business. Like, you can be like friendly and you can like ask and you can be like,
you're in charge of the atmosphere. You build it here.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Yeah,
And
there's no corporate thing to answer
and
to.
we don't
It's
have
what you
like,
want it.
I mean, we have like the best equipment possible, but I mean, we might not have like the most like amazing like seats or like environment, like a huge chain or something like that. But I mean, the service will always be like that.
Well, I'm here to tell you, the seats and environment are incredible too.
Yeah, man, it's pretty
don't
good.
Knock that. I love
This is
being
an
in
awesome
here.
place.
It's like walking in and being hugged by coffee.
By a
If that's
capybara.
possible. Yes, by a capybara, the most pure animal in the world.
And
You're
you
like a
you're like one
studying-
of those shirts that they say like capybaras are my spiritual animal.
If you have that shirt, I will buy it. Name your price.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do. I love the fact that
Because if you look at that capybara, that's me. It definitely looks like me. Look at the size of that nose.
Casey is the purest animal.
Yeah, and I'm also the cuddliest. Come on,
Ladies,
Spencer, let's get white girl wasted.
You're killing me.
if
right
anyone out
now.
there is feeling lonely, grab a book and come to Capybara, and Casey will find you in a couple weeks.
I'll cuddle you. I'll just sit in your lap.
If you can get in and out of here without being cuddled by Casey, you get a free cortado or something. Well, let's wrap up on that. Talk to me about the actual animal. Like you said, the capybara is important where you guys come from.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're like common in the South America. Any place that you have like a lake, a river, a creek, like a body of water, they're like all around. And they're like extremely friendly. They actually don't care for anything but themselves. I mean, if you bump into one, they will like do nothing. If you try to pet one, even like a wild one, they won't care. And they're like so friendly that you can see like capybaras like hanging with gators.
Whoa.
That's the thing. No one. They're like.
And that's kind of that's how it feels in here. Like I get
They're
it.
like extremely
What a wonderful
like, friendly.
Jordan, you might have been right about the capybara. It might be the best animal.
Of course, she was right. Yes,
No, I love that.
I want to
the
crawl into
quokka?
that.
Don't talk to me about the quokka, man.
I want to walk into that picture and just have it tell me stories. Like every time I look at it,
I think it's awesome.
yeah.
I do. You look at that, and the actor's voice that you picture for the capybara is very like Morgan Freeman.
I was going to say Morgan Freeman.
just wraps you in a warmth voice.
Yeah,
Just like-
100%.
But I mean, that's why it's like a perfect fit, because it is like the mascot from our town.
Yeah.
They're like all over the South America. And the one thing that comes to mind, well, like, and whenever things like about capybara is like the friendliness. It is a friendly animal, even to the other animals in nature. So it makes sense.
I love the idea of a bunch of hungry alligators hanging out, and then capybara walks up and they're like, "What up, dude?
Yeah,
Come snug with us."
that's the thing.
Casey, you're like our capybara.
Yeah,
You're the capybara of this podcast.
and you're like the white girl of our podcast.
Were you?
And if there are
Everybody, they all said it.
any alligators out there,
guess I
Casey
am.
will snug with you too. It's the cuddliest
Yeah.
animal.
Yeah, well, they call the capybaras the nature's Ottoman, because every other animal can even sit on them. and hang on them, and they don't care. So
That's incredible.
It sounds like capybaras are really the stoners of the animal kingdom. They just kind of walk around like, "What's up, bro?"
Yeah.
It's like, "Hey, can I sit on you?" It's like, "Sure, dude. Whatever. It's fine."
It is exactly what it is.
I've got somewhere to be in a little
You want
bit,
to
but
talk
yeah.
about black holes and what do you think on the other side? Not really, capybara. That's cool, man. Here, have some coffee.
The capybara's been known to binge a lot of shows. It goes through a lot of Ben and Jerry's. Okay, well, guys, we're getting pretty close to our time. Let's thank you so much for letting us come in here
Thank
and
you, guys.
letting us sample so many incredible things. Like, and obviously, anybody listening to this, the next step is get down here. Get down to Capybara Coffee. Try everything that they have.
Yeah.
Talk to them about coffee. Ask them questions. Don't be embarrassed. Just come soak it in, man. This is a great place to come. It's always pleasant in here. This is a great place to come read a book, or like if you're studying, this is a great place to come do your homework. Again, it's just perfect, you know. So get down here, check them out, and more importantly, that I'm going to charge everybody here too. Everybody that came, tell somebody, tell someone else about it, and bring them in and have them tell somebody too. You know.
Absolutely.
Like this is an amazing coffee shop, and there should be standing room only. You know.
Yeah. Spread the love.
Yeah. And thank you so much for welcoming.
Yeah, thank you for
guys
being on
anytime
here.
you want.
And,
I mean,
obviously, you've not seen The Last of Us. We're going to be back. And guys, anything else? We got anything else there?
No, I'm gonna need some water. I'm shaking. I'm so energized. I'm just like, I am jacked on coffee, and it's wonderful. I've never been happier in my life. Who wants to snuggle like a capybara? I'm down.
Well, on that note, we're going to sign off so we can all escape before Casey cuddles with us.
Too late, Spence.
I love it.